In this video essay, the murder sequence in Psycho and the self-made sequence are to be analyzed because they both showcase how to use rhythmic montage to evoke emotional reactions. Specifically, the way in which the shot length, camera shot, and sound design are used to build up tension will be discussed. By understanding its mechanism, we could get a deeper sense of how montage in film yields psychological effect. First of all, the shot length. In Psycho, Hitchcock leverages shot length to manipulate the emotion of the audiences. The pre-murder shot have longer shot lengths, whereas the actual murder consists of quick and short cuts. Specifically, there are 14 shots before the actual murder, which takes 73 seconds, and this leads to a 5.2 shot duration. From here, the actual attack happened. There are 31 edits within 22 seconds, which leads to a 0.71 second shot duration. According to Eisenstein in his 1977 film form, tension by acceleration is obtained by shortening the pieces. Moreover, the longest shot in this sequence, which takes 18 seconds, happens just before the attack. In that case, a huge contrast of shot length is formed, and this speeds up the tempo immediately. Similarly, my sequence starts with longer shot, which takes about 3 to 5 seconds. At the climax, there are 3 very quick, less than 1 second shots used to increase the tempo immediately. Secondly, camera shots. In these pre-attack shots, medium close-up are used widely, where the character only takes 1/3 to a half of the whole screen. In contrast, when the actual murder happens, Hitchcock used a series of close-ups and extreme close-ups to shape this intense atmosphere. By showing Maureen's mouth, feet, and hands, we can feel how vulnerable and scared Maureen is. By switching from medium close-up to extreme close-up, tension is successfully built. Similarly, in my sequence, long shots are used at the very beginning to establish the background. As the tempo ramps up, I switched into medium close-up, and eventually extreme close-up. Thirdly, sound design. Before the murder, a suspenseful piece of background music is used to set the mood that something is off and alert the audience the impending danger. At the climax, a jump scare is used with Maureen's screaming. In my sequence, the sound of the student ID card holder works as the motive. Whenever I start walking, the sound begins. Whenever I stop, the sound stops. However, in the ending shots, when I stopped to open the door, I could still hear this sound, which symbolizes there's some impending danger. There might be someone stalking me. In designing this sound, I tell the audience the danger without actually telling them. All of the 3 elements combined leads to an important concept, rhythmic montage. Among the Russian Revolution and Civil War in 1919, the Soviet montage theory was first established by Russian director Lev Kuleshov, who is well known by his Kuleshov effect. One of his students, Eisenstein, defined montage as the collision from independent shots. In his opinion, the meaning in a cinema is not inherent in filmed object, but was created by the juxtaposition of 2 signifying elements. Furthermore, he specified 5 types of montage, and rhythmic montage is one of them. According to Eisenstein, it is the content within the frame that determines the length of the pieces. The rhythmic montage is built on rhythm and feeling. Oftentimes, the feeling is determined by the story. For example, in Psycho, the murder is the climax of the whole story, so that it dictates all the editing. So, why should we care about rhythmic montage? Well, the reason is that by using montage correctly, we can easily manipulate the emotion and feeling of the audiences. In his 1977 film form, Eisenstein gave an example. Murder on the stage has a purely physiological effect. The shots on their own can function simply as information. Emotional effect begins only with the reconstruction of the events in montage fragments, each of which will cement a certain association, and the sum of which will be an all-embracing complex of emotional feeling. He further specified how the murder sequence is shot and edited traditionally. And therefore, by using montage, the film gives audiences both an physiological and psychological effect.